little piece of land, here we have to think very hard. We have to work very hard to get a half acre or a quarter acre of land that's not too wet, too shaded, too rocky, or too ledgy underneath. And it's taken a long time to carve that out. But I guess we, as in all things in life, I think the more you have to work for something, the less accessible, the less there is to choose from, the more you can, take care of it. So in our situation, we've been able to put together a really nice integrated homestead slash farm. We are Julie Rawson and Jack Kittredge, and we moved out here to Barre in 1982. We bought our land in 1980, built our house, and 1992 we built our barn, and in between then we built a lot of sheds. We started growing vegetables and planting fruit trees right away. Actually, some of that stuff we planted back in 1980, and we started selling food on a very small level in 1984. We raise a lot of vegetables. We do about $100,000 a year in sales. About 50,000 of it is in vegetables, and most of that is in a CSA, community supported agriculture system, whereby people pay money up front and then they come pick up food, or we deliver it for 22 weeks. We also raise a lot of different animals. We raise turkeys for Thanksgiving, meat birds for people to put in their freezer, eggs year-round, a couple cows that we sell beef from, and several pigs for pork and lard and pork stock and things like that. Our orchard is coming in pretty heavily finally after many years, and we do a lot of fruit sale on the side. And another thing I think that both of us really get excited about is food preservation. So why don't you talk about that?
Well, I think, that is something we both feel strongly about. And a small farm gives you an incredible opportunity to raise things when they're fresh and preserve them so that the freshness and the nutrition stays all year round. When we built the house, we built a root cellar into it, which is kind of an old-fashioned food preservation system. It's essentially like a huge refrigerator that lasts, from maybe November till May or so. And we also do food drying and canning and freezing and make wines and juices and all kinds of things. So we run workshops on it, and we try to feed ourselves pretty much most of everything that you can grow here year round. When the local farming enthusiasm hit, maybe 10, 20 years ago, I don't know exactly when, it really made a big economic difference in a lot of small farms in New England. A lot of them all of a sudden had markets that were accepting of their products and interested in that, and they could get better prices. Raw milk, really shot up, and saved a lot of dairy farms that were going under. There are some CSAs now that are literally, selling to hundreds, if not thousands, of families around Massachusetts and employing lots of people. So that has had a huge impact. And I think it's New England is often introducing ideas to the rest of the country about how these things can happen. And I think people in states similar to New England, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, places like Wisconsin, places like that, where there are still small farms and some marginal farmland, are really benefiting from that. Our food system is, of course, dominated still by mega farms and agribusiness and so forth, but I'm very pleased that we're showing an alternative, and it seems like the market is responding, that more and more people are going out of their way to find good food. I think they find it's really important for their families and their health, and they feel the difference.
For me, being barefoot in the dirt is something that I enjoyed when I was a child, and I still enjoy it. And what it does for me is to ground me in the real values of life. For me, when I got pregnant with our first child, and I said to Jack, I'm really sorry, but I think I have to raise these children on a farm. The name of our farm is Many Hands Organic Farm. We still do, but we had 4 small children at the time, and we're sitting around the living room, at the kitchen table one day, trying to figure out how to name ourselves, and we kind of threw out these words, and all of a sudden we came, Many Hands Organic Farm. And since our kids are gone, it still is Many Hands Organic Farm. We have a lot of people here coming through here all the time. Either people who want to find their small farm dream. There are a lot of folks out there who's like, oh, I just want to give up my job and be a farmer. And so I said, well, why don't you come out and work with me for a day and see how it feels? And some of them go away and say, well, okay, I get it now. I don't really want to be a farmer, but it's nice to know where my food comes from. And others, get totally taken with it and want to change their lives. And so that's one piece of it, is that education, that wanting to share basic skills and knowledge and systems and all those kind of things. The other thing I think that we I speak for myself, but I think for you too, that we're really into social justice. And I feel a little guilty being out here in the country with all this natural largesse, and feel a need and have all my life really to share that with people. So right now we're working with people who are ex-offenders and people who have kids who've had troubles with sex offenses and things, bringing them out to the farm and sometimes employing them, sometimes as volunteers, and really making that opportunity available for people to see a different way and potentially sometimes become farmers themselves, or just get themselves back on their feet and go about their lives.